Okay. Now this one works. This is a system I was using before, but it has had its problems recently, so I don't know if anyone's even going to show up to this. But I'm still going to do what I was going to say about catching up. I already got rid of them because they were so bad. I tried Zoom Live and all I got was a giant echo and me being 40 seconds behind where I was sitting here, which was kind of scary. And it's kind of a comedy of errors, but this has been my week. That's why I kind of wanted to check up. Last week was taxes, and I did all that. And I finally worked it all out, only to have my first go-round with TurboTax rejected. Then I had to try again. Thank you. Hi again. No kidding. And then, I mean, my whole week has been like this. And then Jeffrey and I got together and we taped at the end of April, which should start on April 21st. And we've done this before, and it used to be that when I taped them, that they break up into segments, and so we knew which day was which day, and I opened it up to send it off to Jeffrey and to send him the comments and things we put on it. And it was all one long show. And the only person in this house who has the software that can take one long 10 days worth of readings and split them up into usable chunks is tech support. And tech support was at the lab actually yesterday getting checked for COVID. So it's been that kind of week. So I guess I should have thought this all the way through and said, no, we're not going to do Zoom Live. We'll go back to the system we know. But Prince Charming's mom, thanks. You guys have the patience of Job with me and technology. Anyway, where I am, what's going on? Last week I was also supposed to do a live show through David Johnson's channel on ley lines and earth energies and meditating for the healing of the earth and explaining what's going on so that people could follow it. And David got sick. So, I'm not saying don't watch my shows because you're going to fall over sideways, but I'm starting to worry. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody that's showing up. I did do Sunday morning coffee with poor Scoll Alan because he got deserted by his usual co-hosts who decided to do Easter, and I wasn't doing Easter this year. So I went on and did that, and that was lots of fun on Sunday. So Sunday was a very busy day, but it wasn't busy with Easter eggs and things. This week I will be going live on Thursday, and I will have the technical things all worked out. But I'm going. It's not me. I'm going to be actually on Dr. Gail's channel, Skywalking with Moon. I'll put it out as a reminder for people to go over there and watch me there. She and I she's going to do an in-depth interview on how I became a psychic and from her perspective, and I think it ought to be fun. And then I'm going to be interviewing Dorothy Morgan, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk to y'all today, or as this shows up later and people watch it in their feed. What do you as a person who, if you know a lot about astrology, what do you think is interesting that's coming up? If you don't know anything about astrology, what would you think would be interesting to learn? And she and I are going to have a conversation on that, and then it'll probably be running Friday as a premiere, not as a live show. Then I've got some readings. I've got some grids I'm working on. I went to the rock shop, as you know, and I've got to put those things together. I'm still in a small war with the people who are making my eggs. They had told me they were sending some 7 days ago, and I've never gotten the postal receipts. I've never gotten anything. I'm getting very, very upset with them. They built the things. You think they'd want to get rid of them. Why would they not want them out? And also, I'm still trying to figure out kind of a direction for my channel. I know I do the dailies with Jeffrey, and we have the garden, and we have the Past Lives Garden, which, by the way, if you're watching this, today is the 19th. Up until the 22nd, I'm going to be taking emails from people who want to come on and be part of another guinea pig party, because I've sort of tightened up my way of dealing with. If you don't know what the Past Life Garden is, it's a lot like my garden. except that it has past life issues, and you read for past life issues with it. It also has only 4 crystals and a pendulum, which is a beautiful tiger's eye pendulum. It's just gorgeous. I'll show it to you because I think it's so pretty. And I'm working on that stuff with her. It's not like I'm sitting around doing nothing, guys, but I do. There are things I need feedback from the audience about. And I also, I'm still doing my long-term study on earth energies, the Rory Duff stuff. And he just came out with a new video, and he has a lot of new things that he brought up, which I'm having to kind of look at again. This is the tiger's eye pendulum that comes with Alma's past life garden, and it is Alma's thing. She decided when she first showed it to me, I said, yeah, that could be done. But at the time I was swamped with trying to do 6 other things. So she designed it, she came up with it, and she and I have been working on cleaning it up. This is like the prototype garden, and we figured out one thing is we needed a longer chain on the pendulum so it could get further. And I'm going to make sure she puts a good explanation of her stones and why they're there. That's going to be longer than the one because they're ancestral stones, and I found out we needed that. But I think we had a good time. When I read people with it, it really kind of did work. And let's see. Okay, I'll ask her, because one of the things I wanted to talk to her about is this spring's been very busy. Lots of things have happened. I don't know if you guys realized it or not, but the day that the Ukrainians sunk the Russian sub was the day that Neptune and Jupiter were conjunct. And Jupiter is benefic things coming from the sea. Neptune is the sea as well as hidden parts of ourselves. So we're going to see if that's going. I did, if you ask for the dowsing garden, I do include a PDF that was given to me by the Dowsing Society called A Letter to Robin. And it kind of soup to nuts tells you what you need to do to learn how to do a garden. To learn how to do that part. Tech support, we thought he had COVID. He doesn't have COVID. He just has the worst case of the flu I've ever seen in my life if it's not COVID. But he's tucked upstairs and resting. So that's the other thing is Jeffrey and I may be live on the 21st at 7 p.m. my time because we have to do our 21st reading. And also, if you haven't been watching the dailies, we acknowledge people's birthdays on the dailies. So if you want to have that acknowledged, please, if your birthday's in May, you better let me know now, because we tape those things in about 15-day segments, and that's about as long as you can tape those and not get loopy. And he's having a lovely time in Mexico. He's finally settled in a living situation. I think he's going to stay with for a while. And he's getting settled and taking Spanish classes. So that's kind of fun, because he kind of realized his tourist Spanish was not going to cut it. Let's see if they're going to go. Hello, everyone. From Catherine from Lightworker Tarot. I'm sorry. My glasses don't read the tiny print on the little screen that I have to look at to see what people are saying. So, and after that, I am going to really start working with the garden quite a bit, other than the dailies, to show people how to make it work, because it really does work. And I've had a couple people buy them recently, and that's going to be kind of fun. Oh, I am also going to I make these things called crystal compasses, and they're sort of where people who want to get grids but don't know if it'll work start. And and I'm going to read this lady. She wrote me a long thing. She's a little bit older than me, but boy, she's been through it. And so I told her if she'd come on and we could tape her reading, then I would make sure she got a crystal compass. So So you're gonna see kind of how I work with stones that way. Because I get notes from people. I'd want to know more about the stones, and I get notes from people I want to know more about the this and the that. And it was kind of fun reading cards. I tell you what, reading cards with Scott on Sunday morning was so much easier than what I do in an average show, because I have to get a lot of information together. I have to get a lot of ideas together, and I'm always researching and looking for new ways to look at this stuff, because we're all moving so fast, and I can tell you that I'm moving really, really quickly as well. So, and my birthday's in 2 weeks, so I'm big on birthdays right now, and I'm not going to do a thing on my show. I'm going to go, now that Tech Sport doesn't have COVID, we can go back to planning my birthday dinner. We're kind of freaking out about that. So, anybody have a question out there? There's 11 of you, man. 11 of you hung in there that long through 2 bad starts on... I don't know what was going on with YouTube Live. They sent me a new version of YouTube and said, try YouTube Live. Not so much. I mean, I sat there and I'm looking at it, and I start talking and I'm not talking, and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what's going on? And maybe you have to go live and then start the meeting. I don't know. I'm going to have to practice some more. But I have one system that works, and I don't want to go to StreamYard, because to get the StreamYard system I would need would cost more money than I want to separate from myself at this point in time. Not that I'm hurting, but I've heard bad things about YouTube Live too. So let's see. I'm looking. I'm not getting any questions. I really just meant for this to be a brief for me to come on and sort of a proof of life video. And you can tell because I'm saying a lot and I'm having to think. But I'm glad for everyone who came through, and I feel sad for the people I dumped the first 2 times, but that was pretty hideous. And I got rid of those videos, let me tell you. I did that before I even came back on here. And just, I hope I'm giving you information that you can use and don't have to snooze through. I'm real excited about some of the earth energetic stuff I'm working with. And I'm real excited about being interviewed by Dr. Gale on Thursday. Also, if you did not see it, Saturday before last, I was on the Ascension Playground. And you really should, if you're not signed into them yet, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. Because Robert Brunias from Akashic Records is there. Jimmy Monson, who is one of the people I do distance healing with, and he's one of the people who got my lungs completely clear. I went to the doctor last week, in the middle of all the other stuff I was doing, and I had switched doctors because my doctor had retired. And the new doctor was listening to my chest, and she went over and she wrote down some stuff in the chart. She came back. Okay, yeah, I'll do the next 3 months, Tammy. And what happened was that the doctor came back to me and she said, have you changed your regimen about your lungs? Because I had a lobe that was kind of screwed up from when I had pneumonia. And I said, no, I'm just, and she said, your lungs are completely clear. And she said, are you using any of the asthma stuff? She said, there is not a wheeze in your lung anywhere. And this has been a hideous allergy season in Texas. And I kept waiting for it to hit me. Didn't hit me. And she said, well, what are you doing? And the practice I go to understands about sort of distance healing and more holistic ways of handling things. And I told her what I was doing. And she said, well, keep doing it because your lungs are clear. And a year ago, she had marked this part of your lung still had problems from your pneumonia. So there's a whole lot more out there to us healing ourselves and getting in touch with our own energy than we'll ever know. I'm going to do a reading. Tammy, is this for you? I'm going to read about you for the next segment. Will I read with Scott again. Yeah, he and I are trying to figure that out. He was real worried because I won't do politics. But when I say I won't do politics, it means I won't call obvious AHs that they're AHs and sit there and do nothing but harp on that. I think the way I talked about politics, if you go back and look at the SAunday, it's what's your part? How do you become involved? How do you get other people involved? How do you become inspired? I talked about Ballotpedia, which is a place you can research politicians, because I realize I'm talking to people from all over everywhere. But and so Scott at the end, he said, yeah, I'd like to have you back on. We're going to work out another way to work with this because we got a lot of feedback in the chat saying, please bring this back. This is the kind of information I really want about politics, because I understand the energy of, if you keep saying someone's name and keep bringing up attitudes and ideas they have, you're emphasizing that you want to see more of that. And I don't think readers mean to do that, but when I listen to those things where they just go on and on and on, I mean, I know Linda G has talked about more that she's looking for the more enlightening way to look at people. Now, when things were desperate and the former president was the president and people were scared, I can understand totally why people would do what they did. But we need a new paradigm. And I know the most positive campaign I ever worked on was Obama's campaign in '08. And it wasn't just that he was bringing hope and change, which was really important. But the other part of it was that he was... that we trained the volunteers to talk about why they were there supporting that candidate. So they had to get to know his stand. They had to get to know things. It wasn't just blindly following anybody. And the more informed you are, the better off it'll go. Okay, Kathleen, I've got a perfect tool for you, and I'll show it. I'm going to do Tammy's 3-month reading, and then I'll get back. Okay, Tammy, we're going to look at Tammy Jackson's next 3 months. Yeah, I think if you pound something in at people, if you pound images into people, somebody said, is that like an implant? Well, yeah, it can be. It can feel like an implant. I actually had a friend who did have an alien implant. And when we talk with Dr. Gail, we can talk about that. Okay, I'm doing Tammy. Oh, yeah, you're no wonder you're feeling frustrated, but you've got money coming towards you, girl. Okay. What I see, your in cards are, you've been the hangman, but you've got new values and new money coming your way. Someone got you off the path you like to be on and made you kind of stand on your head. It was kind of upsetting to you. And it's been a stormy time right now. I think you're adjusting a lot of things, and it's been kind of a stormy ride for you. Those first 4 cards are what's happened up until now. And those, you can't change what happened, but you can change how you react to it. That's the most important thing to remember. Now, where you are right now, you're having a little difficulty figuring out, how do I build up my defenses so I don't fall there again? Because you want to have a happy base of people to be with. But you've met someone, or he may have been already part of your life. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But right now you're feeling a little defiant, like I don't want to go along with the flow. But the thing, and I will tell you the thing about these cards that are in the future, if you get a card, you might view that, that's not really what I want to do. Because you know it's there, you can change it. You can flip them around. That's why I always loved tarot when I was a kid. Because so many of the other sciences seemed to feel like they were written in stone and you couldn't change them. But I see that you are going to make changes. This is someone bringing a change in values and a change in money to you. You've got a really bright 3 months, but you got to get your own head straight. And you do know how to build the base you need to build. You just aren't opening yourself up to it right now. Sorry, my camera's going in and out. I don't usually read cards on this camera. Yeah, I mean, do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it, but there's a show, it's made in England, it's called The Repair Shop, and people bring in old military helmets, or they bring in toys from their youth, or they bring in a family heirloom that got, messed up somehow. And this shop does the most incredible things. It takes old portable record players, if I think my audience understands what record players look like, but old portable ones, and rewire them and put them back together so people can hear the music that they heard when they were in their youth, the way they heard it in their youth. They also put musical instruments together, cabinetry, all kinds. Oh, there's 2 women there that are absolutely marvelous that redo dolls. If you can find that, and I think it is on YouTube somewhere, you can find that. It's also on the Discovery Channel right now. That show's absolutely charming, and it's so wonderful to see people doing positive things for other people and to see the kind of items someone values. And they redo furniture. They redo chairs. And for me, I'm a doer. I'm a person who works with their hands, and I really enjoy that show. So that's a hint for you from me. Okay. Tammy says that, mate. Okay, yeah, I thought you and I talked, Tammy, and that you were married. Yeah, you've got good male energy around you. You just kind of had other people tugging on you and taking some of your sense of self away. Let's see, I've got... Oh, what I was going to show... Kathleen Lightworker, if you'll get in touch with me, I'll explain what this is. But this is also from Alma, the wonderful designer. And she had a degree in geology, and she was so helpful to me when I was starting out working with stones. But she's created this thing. It's called ChakraEggs. Unlock your chakras. And what it's got is she also loves to work with fabric. So this has got fabric. It's got this scarf where you put the different chakra keys. Now we're working on this scarf because it didn't come out the way she wanted it to look. So it'll look like this, but the print will be actually readable. And then what comes with it is a set of chakra keys. And so if you say, I'm having a root chakra problem, you go find your root chakra key, bright red. This is the sacral chakra, it's orange. Solar plexus is yellow. Heart is green. Third eye is that blue. No, that's throat. Third eye is the darker blue, and then that's the crown chakra. And what you do is if you want to work with a specific chakra, you can place it on that cloth. If you want to just put them out and meditate on them, and I've tried doing it that way too, because I'm her guinea pig to try everything out. You can think on it. You can think on it. And I was trying to reconnect with my root chakra, and I did a thing with the root chakra, pulled a couple cards with this thing in front of me about working with my chakras, and kind of got it. It gives you a more physical way to see it than just thinking, I see a red lotus at the base of my spine, which there have been days when that's been a good thing for me to do. There have been days when I have not been able to focus that way. But with her chakra keys, it's to unlock your life. And she came up with this and wrote me about it and said, hey, I came up with this idea. And I said, well, and she's very good at getting things made. She's a maker. She's good at finding people to do that. And when I figure out how to do this, right now I've got enough with the Past Life Garden without worrying about this. But when she gets it all together, I will have a thing set up where I can use both cameras and you can actually see it and see how it works. I've thought of 2 or 3 different ways to work with it. But if Kathleen Lightworker, if you really are Lightworker Tarot, if you really are working with a lot of chakra stuff, I can arrange a private meeting, do a Zoom meeting. I can make Zoom work when it's not live. And I can arrange a Zoom meeting with you and we can look at it and you can see, because the more input she has from people, the better. And I get to feeling like I'm the shopping channel for readers on YouTube. But I did get Scoll Alan's deck, and I've started to work with it, and I think it may be a deck that's set up so we can use it to tell time, but I'm not sure yet. And Rosy Cheeks. I don't think I've seen that name before. You probably have been in here. I've just been never. They are very interesting, and she got the idea. There's a thing I did when I first did my channel, and it's another thing I'm going to revive. But you can use an old-fashioned key, like an old, one of those big old chunky keys, skeleton keys. I bought a bunch of stylized skeleton keys online, and I gave some of them away. But what I did is I taught people how to picture that key as unlocking their life, and then you put your intentions on a key instead of like a stone, because intentions can be worked on a lot of different things. That's another thing we're going to try to do with the chakra garden, with the chakra keys. And but like I said, it's real pretty. It's real pretty, and she's got all the symbols for the chakras, and she's a beautiful visual artist. She does great work. I love her stuff, and I mean, the way I found Alma was when I was first on YouTube. She tuned in, and here was someone working with stones and metaphysics. And like I said, she has a degree in geology, and she's gone out in New Mexico and dug up and, done crystal mining and all that kind of stuff. So she was interested in what I was saying about stones. So she contacted me and she said, could you mentor me? I really want to learn about your side of it, and I can help you with the stone side and stuff. And I don't know what mood I was in that day, but I sent her a note and I said, I'm really bad as a mentor, because that means having to set up dates and times and to be places and do things. And, right now I have enough just trying to wrap my head around running a channel and doing the other things I do with my life. And she got my note, and it just crushed her. I mean, it just crushed her. So she went around her bedroom that whole night, storming around saying, I want a mentor. She should be my mentor. I know I'm supposed to know her. She's supposed to be my mentor. And that night, in the middle of the night, the angels kicked my head like a soccer ball and said, how dare you not begin to include this woman in your life? She's got background you need, but she needs to be with you. She needs to learn the things you know. And whenever you reached out to anyone who had skills and abilities, they never turned their back on you and said, oh, I'm too busy, or I can't possibly. And that's actually true. I had a lot of wonderful people walk in my life that helped me. And so the next morning I woke up, and the first thing I did was get on the computer and type a mea culpa letter to her and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't think this all the way through. Perhaps we should just talk and see what both of us would be looking for this. And it has ended up being one of the most incredibly empowering relationships in my life. Yep, Prince Charming's mom, you probably do need the solar plexus key, but you get the whole bunch of them, and and don't ask me how much any of this costs, because it's her stuff. We have to figure out how to make it work, to give it more value. And, and I mean, you can get it from solar plexus stones. I just think this gives us a really physical way to hold on to the chakras and work with them. The same way those skeleton keys gave people physical things to hold on to for their intentions. Yes, I've done automatic writing, and that's how I met Frank, my second guide. I knew I had Addie, and I knew I had another guide around me. And so one day I sat down and I got in a quiet place in my house, and I said, okay, who else is around me? And I just let my hand write, and it said, hi, I'm Frank. And then I didn't get it all in writing. I got some visuals, and I saw that he was a large man, and he's very protective of me. And other readers who have read me and have seen Frank, the people who can see your spirit guides, they tell me he looks like a linebacker. I mean, and I believe he is. I rarely see him. I sense his presence there. What I've been told from other readers that they sense the same thing I do. He's here to protect me. He's here to make sure I get through everything safe. The only dream I ever had where I saw Frank was I was visualizing, it was during the time that the senators were not going to convict the former president, and I don't even remember which impeachment it was, but I said, why could these people not see what was going on here? I think it may have been Ukraine. Why do they not understand the long-term complications of this? And I was thinking about that just before I went to sleep, which is really a disgusting way to go to bed, thinking about Republican senators. But anyway, all of a sudden I woke up and they were all lined up ahead of me. And they were all, someone was handing them a gold coin, a big gold coin, and then they were moving on. And it was like Susan Collins and Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, the usual suspects. That's who I was seeing in my dreams, which this was not a dream, it was a nightmare. Anyway, I got curious and I said, I wondered where they're going because I kept hearing this funny shuffling sound and then like something was falling. So I decided I was going to just venture on down the hallway and see what I could see. And all of a sudden, Frank's back was in front of me. And he said, I've spent so many years protecting you from this. You're not going there. And I got really plain. I had been in political campaigns where we'd have people show up with funny money and we had to turn them away. I worked with ethical candidates. But it was more on a local level. And anyway, he was saying, I'm not going to let you get even near that kind of corruption. It is so ugly. And I'm sure Frank's part of the reason why I don't do politics, the kind of everyday reading about it, because I actually think about it every day. What can I do today, or what candidate? I'll read about a candidate and I'll go look them up, but I do it for research. I don't do it to try and dig up bad stuff. I've been around enough black ops and opposition research that and now that I found it, there's a big article in the New York Times today about, or New York Times Magazine, but it's about this group that's been created to dig up dirt or manufacture dirt on every one of Biden's nominees for the federal government. They're slowing the whole process down. They don't want him to have good people in there. They blocked a woman who would have been brilliant in the Treasury, and she would have been the one that could have gone in and found out what Mnuchin was up to. And the Republicans there's a way they can stall it. And I think this is a whole lot of the cleanup of rules that we're going to need. But she actually found the money flow. And almost all of the money that goes into this group comes from big oil, and because they don't want anyone going near the fossil fuels. So I'll talk about automatic writing skills. It's not my strongest suit, but I think it's one of those things that's interesting to know about. And I'll do. I know if you've read the book Angels Speak, that's speak with an E on the end, and Trudy, one of the two authors, is still alive, and they did some of the first stuff on automatic writing and intentions lists. And it's a skinny little book. You can read it in an afternoon, and I found it about 10 years ago, and it completely changed how I felt about a lot of the work and the intentions of the works that I was doing. It's a marvelous, marvelous book. Yeah, there's people who are terrified of change tend to fall into more fundamentalist spirits. But you see countries in the 70s, it was, the fundamentalists in Islam, and, I never went to a fundamentalist church, but I live in Texas, and my first husband, I've only had two, but the first marriage was to a person who was a Methodist minister, and the Jesus freaks had just started getting into theology school, and they we're making them find 3 sources for anything they wrote in their papers. You just can't say God said it, because this is how I read it in the Bible. You had to get other sources. And they had a lot, they fought it. I mean, they just said, well, you can always leave this theology school and go to one that doesn't have the reputation. He went to Perkins School of Theology, which is here in Dallas, and it's a Methodist school. And we watched them showing up, you know, the Jesus freaks showing up and getting in the school. And unfortunately, one of the guys came from Oral Roberts University in Oklahoma, and he was probably the top scholar in my husband's class, but he was so inundated with I have to prove this point of view, he had no opening for other things. He tried to petition to not go into the class where they had to read the Quran and stuff. I read the Quran because my husband was a minister and the Quran was there. Okay, I will definitely put automatic writing on one of my things. And because a couple people have commented on it. So, unless somebody else has a pressing and dire question, I am going to feel like I was productive today. I did answer my emails, and I'm aware that there's a couple people. God, I hope those eggs come this week, because I just want to get those off my plate, and so I can just talk about them and have a real timeline. I already had one person cancel her order, although it said 4 to 6 weeks. So she's trying to get me to pay a fee for her having to cancel her credit card order. I'm fighting it because I told her 4 to 6 weeks, and today would be the 4th week. And I said 4 to 6, so she's got 2 more before. And she wrote something not particularly nice about me. And people like, I was talking with Scoll Alan about his cards, and he found a mistake in the first printing of the cards. And I said, oh, good, and I got one of those, because that makes those better. The earlier you get something like this, the more likely it's going to have something like that on it that makes it unique, and it actually makes it more valuable as a collectible. But like I said, he wants me to work with his cards. Other people want me to work with their stuff. I'm working with all his stuff. Yes, Danny and Andrea and I are going to do some more stuff. Danny's out hiding in the woods right now. And he's accusing me because I keep sending him videos about things I think he ought to want to know about. And he's going, is this another rabbit hole? And I really sent him a rabbit hole today. I sent him an hour-long. It's on Pam Gregory's channel if you want to go watch it. It's Rory Duff, who's the leading person in Earth Energies. And he's an Englishman. And, you know, I was married to an Englishman, so the kind of dry voice and stuff is not at all unpleasant for me. If you don't understand English accents, it can, and he doesn't have a bad one. I mean, people say, I can't understand that accent. My husband's family, he was born a Cockney, but he went to university, so by the time I met him, he spoke BBC British. But when we went back to England, I really had to listen closely to some of his brothers because they talk like Eliza Doolittle. Yes, Rosy Cheeks, you're going to get a card. We're going to pull a color card for you. Oh, and how appropriate for Rosy Cheeks. You got red. And I'll tell you what red means. These, if you've not seen these cards, they're absolutely marvelous. They're the secret of language and color. And it's 2. And it's a really easy book to read because each card has a number on it, and then it's in the book on that page. So, red. Red contains unlimited energy, vitality, and power. Draws money and prosperity into your life. It's a powerful agent for healing blood disorders, for improving circulation, healing diseases, drying up sores and old wounds, warming cold areas of your body. Use a red sword of light to heal yourself on all levels. And it said the image of red is to be free from pain. So And when you're in red, you're supposed to say, Divine Intelligence, move your healing light through my mind, my body, so that I can return to a state of pure health. Okay, shockwave. If you type, Pam, could you type it again? I didn't see it. I can go look for it, but I'm going to pull a card for shockwave, and then I'll go look for it, or you can type your question in capitals. And the important part about capitals is, I turned 73 in a couple weeks, and my eyesight's moving again, and I need to get new glasses, so I'm struggling with that right. But now we're looking for Shockwave's card. And Shockwave got orange, which is good for the name Shockwave. I would think that would be a good company. It's number 16. Orange, nurture yourself. Orange helps to heal digestive ailments as well as the chest and kidneys. It also assists in the treatment of asthma, fear, loneliness, spasms, tension, inflammation, colds, and depression. Kind of a all-purpose color there. Improve your immunity and vitality and stamina and awaken yourself. And the saying for orange is, I am beautiful, divine being. I am a beautiful divine being that deserves to be nurtured, supported. I am now willing to receive all the gentleness and kindness of others. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go see if Pam's question's up here, and then I'll come back down to this. Pam. Pam, not in that page. I see where you wrote brilliant. And oh, okay. Did they make a mistake? I dreamed I was implanted. No, I don't think. I don't think. First of all, if it was a mistake or not, it's what you're living with. But I'm gonna do a real quick 3-card pull on whether you have anything like that, and then I'm gonna go back and look at this lady's job. Okay. I don't have a big workspace below my computer, so I kind of have to fit things in here. I'm gonna do a 3-card on that. I'm asking if you're implanted with anything, because okay. No, you weren't. It's things people said to you and you've taken them into your whole soul too hard, but you got a no and a no on did you get implanted? No. You've just had a lot of thoughts implanted, but not by aliens or not with, like, I've been watching this spooky TV show Severance, and I think it doesn't help my temperament, but they made a mistake. No. And it's not your burden to bear. You've just accepted verbal things people gave to you. That's the implant, not a they, not whoever they that were saying those things to you goes. And then, okay, lady, you want to know about your job. A lady who wanted to know about what's going on around your job. Let's see. You said you've had 2 managers or 4 managers in 2 years. Yeah, the people at the top can't figure out what they're doing, and it's the people running the place. And this card means not meeting the right people, not meeting the right expectations, and they want to do things that are right, but they just don't know how. And this is what I get for the out card. Yeah, your company's in some kind of trouble. They're ill prepared. They don't plan ahead. They tend to get tied up in their own emotions. And lastly, they don't bring on the right personnel. And I mean up on their level. They don't get the right personnel, so nobody hangs around long enough. So in order for a company to kind of really do well, I think, it used to be this way, you kind of have to have a long-term vision. And I know a little bit about this. I do have a master's in business, and it was in planning, business, organizational planning. And you guys can work your butt off, but oh, you want to know if the next one's going to be a good manager. Okay, I thought if you want to know what the hook. Okay, let's see if the next manager is going to be a good manager. I think you're seeing the lack of thought process in the managers they're bringing in. But let's see if they're going to wise up and get a good person to work with. They have the potential to be a really good person, but they're kind of figuring out right now. They're younger and they're more insightful, but the basic problem isn't the manager, it's the company they're managing too. They're not going to bring the house down, but they're also not going to be able to get it up to the profitability they want. But this person has good skills, so it might make it easier for you to work with. I think the rot starts at the top, and that's the problem with the company you work for. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Carmela's going to Asheville. Woo. Okay. See if Carmela's going to have a fun surprise on her trip. Dozen cats, I don't have it worked out. I had to go back to my old system. I have absolutely no idea how YouTube Live works. But after I got a thing about anybody can run YouTube Live. Well, apparently anybody but me. Oh, you're going to have a good time, girl. I don't think I'd go betting a lot of money. I don't know if they have gambling there, but this is a lovely trip. This is moving on. If you're thinking about meeting Mr. Wonderful, I don't think he's there. But you're going to meet some lovely people. And you have one word of warning. Don't overspend, girl. Watch your money. But it should be an adventure. You'll have a good time. I don't know if I'm a wealth of knowledge. I always thought more as I just couldn't forget things. So I keep thinking about them over and over again. I may go back and start teaching some of the old practical ideas that I had when I first set up. The tapes are back there, but I have some new ideas. I'm also going to do in the next month the Mountain of Gold. If you've never seen it, it's you paint 8 gold stones, and you paint them with like gold paint, and they can be river rocks. They can be kind of anything, and then you pile them next to the entry to your house, and they supposedly draw prosperity. That's their goal, and you have to keep them painted because I have to bring. That's one reason why I want to do it now. I need to bring mine back in and repaint them because they've gotten a little bit ratty with the winter we had blasting them. Thank you. You're not falling through a portal, girl. You're doing fine. Yeah, some of what I know comes from hanging out with the Ascended Masters, that's sure, because I've been here supposedly, according to Robert, I was here with Lumeria. I was a Palladian founder of Lumeria, and that just means I've been here a whole lot of times, and you know, you'd hope you'd learn something. Okay, will I be teaching some new classes, and how will they be going, Elizabeth Hunter? Yeah, you should expect some paperwork really soon about it. You've had a hard time getting these people to get all on the one page. When I see this card, I always think this poor guy, he's got all the things he needs to build what he needs to build, but all the pieces, he hasn't figured out how to put all the pieces together. It's still a puzzle to him. And the problem is nobody there would help you or give you any guidance about what to ask about next. But this is good. You should be expecting some paperwork really soon that's going to be leading you on, and then it's going to take a little longer than you would like. But then this card reversed is good for you. You've been sitting there feeling bored and wanting to move on to something else. You're about to get the 4th cup on the top of your head. So you're going to be fine. Yeah, probably. I did politics with the Masters. Probably the reason why I don't want to go do that again. And I think the way they're going to go is they're going to go really well for you. I can look at it. I can pull out one card. Oh, they're going to be brilliant. That's the one card answer to how will those classes go. Well, guys, I kind of need to go heat up my homemade chicken tortilla soup and sit and get quiet for a little bit. I'll keep you apprised of the chakra keys. I will keep you apprised of the past life garden. Like I said, if you're interested, go to my go to the comments page, not on here, but the one that's later, or my email is on my web is shows up on my YouTube channel, and it's crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. If you're interested in being a guinea pig for past life gardens, I'm going to be accepting names of people for that until the 22nd. And last time we had a good time. We got 5. Ended up getting 10 people who could do it. We did 5, and it was really a lot of fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we're going to have daily readings if Jeffrey and I can clean it up. Unfortunately, the person who I really need to clean up what they're doing right now thought he had COVID so bad yesterday he went to the lab to get checked. Yes, punch the button for likes and share this. And y'all have a week, and I'll be back on live on Dr. Gail's channel, Skywalking with Moon, at 1 o'clock on Thursday. And I'm going to be taping a show with Dorothy Morgan earlier in that day that will appear either Friday or Saturday. And with that, I'm going to let everybody go. You have a lovely day, and thank you for showing up. Thank you for being patient with my perpetual electronic glitches. Bye.